Good evening, Mr. Nelson.
Hiya.
How are you?
Okay.
I'm kind of nervous.
Well, that's all right. You have a right to be.
Okay. My folks have listened to you quite some time. That's how I became a listener of yours.
Thank you.
And the problem I have, I just recently received a divorce, and the situation was for cruel and inhuman treatment to my wife. And I've never beaten my wife in my life, and I feel that my lawyer took advantage of me along with her lawyer because I wasn't really sure what the situation was. And when I did see the papers for what she claimed, it was, I believe, 5 minutes before the court procedure. And when the judge asked us to come up, it was about 5 minutes before that when my lawyer showed me the case, showed me the papers for what she was claiming. And on the first page, it merely said that...
you were terrible, aren't you?
Oh, God.
You didn't recognize yourself, did you?
Oh, I didn't really, and I was so involved in trying to situate, and trying to get my mind together with the situation that was at hand when my lawyer showed me the papers, which on the first page, it didn't say that I had beaten her. It merely said that I never attended certain things that she wanted me to attend and so forth and so on. So when my lawyer asked me if this was true, I said, oh, I was probably, I said she probably wrote that in for just for the court procedure, for the divorce.
Right.
Because we really didn't have any grounds.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Were there any children involved?
Yes, there were. And see...
Oh, no, wait, how many?
Well, we have 3 children, but actually 2 at home.
Okay. Now, wait a while. How long were you married?
I was married 22 years.
Oh, after 22 years. Oh, that's a lot different than I thought. I thought this was a short duration marriage.
No, well, see, I'll tell you
what... No, wait, one more question. Okay. Are you paying support or alimony?
I'm paying support.
Yes, how much?
Well, at the present time, I'm paying $70 support a week, And see, the reason we had came to a pretty difficult situation because I don't make that much money, and I felt that $70... Well, first she asked for $95. Mm-hmm. Then I thought that was ridiculous because she was making $1,000 more in salary than I was.
Oh, my.
And I felt that, plus her rent was much cheaper than mine because she is under Section 8. And I felt that...
Oh, she is under Section 8?
Yes.
So she's getting a rent subsidy.
Yes. And for me to get an apartment, it would cost me an extreme amount of money for a one-bedroom apartment, at least $400.
How old are the 2 children at home?
The 2 children at home, one is 8, one is 9, and the other is 16. They'll be this May.
A question: what's your take-home pay?
Well, my take-home pay is about $470 every 2 weeks.
Another $470, so that's about $235 a week.
Yes.
And of which you're paying is $70.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And then for me to get an apartment...
In other words, you're paying a little bit under a third.
Yes. Well, you see what happened. The reason the judge gave me that type of money because she, when we spoke of the divorce, which we didn't have any ground, after 20 years, she decided she didn't want to be bothered with me anymore because I had gotten out of a job, I lost my job.
Yeah, well, you see, that's where you see what happened is when a divorce takes place or you want a divorce, one party has to accuse the other of a lot of things that very often are not true.
Uh-huh.
And, of course, but your attorney, you see, the fee... Let me tell you exactly what happened here. From the standpoint of a layperson who has a lot of experience in this, understand? Yeah. Your fee wasn't very great. In other words, the fee that the attorney can get from you wasn't very great.
No, it wasn't. In fact, I went through my union. They have a union lawyer that they give us. So
therefore, he knew that the fee was not going to be very great. He probably, being a human being and having to live, he didn't want to spend much time with you.
Yes.
As a result, what he said, he showed you the accusation, which you got 5 minutes before going into court.
Yes.
And he, in effect, said to you, if you want a divorce, keep your mouth shut.
Uh-huh.
If you want to fight it, go ahead and fight it. I don't want to fight it.
Yes.
This is what you're up against. In other words, you went through the standard procedure. About 1/3 of your salary has been taken.
Yes.
This is very common in cases like this, understand?
Yes. But Dr. Nelson, the crust of the whole thing was after... See, I never saw what everything else, the cruel and inhuman treatment of the whole basis was. When I got the divorce from her, when I got the divorce from her lawyer, the divorce papers from her lawyer a couple of days ago, showing that the divorce was final. Inside on the a couple of pages in, then I actually saw what the whole thing was. It had that I had beaten her up, twisted her arm, threw her down.
And your attorney didn't call your attention to all this?
He did not call my attention. When I called him back when I received the papers, I called him and immediately spoke to him. I said, "Do you realize the seriousness of this accusation that she had?"
And what did he say?
He told me, he says, "Well, everybody wanted a divorce. You wanted a divorce. She wanted a divorce. So we felt that, whatever happened, it went through." And I said, "But this could fall back on me sometime in the future. And this is really the reason that I called. Because if I happen to be with another woman and say, for instance, we get in an argument and she happens to stumble off the sidewalk or something and kills herself, hit her head on the ground or something, they can look back in the file and see and say, well, this man has been a woman beater. If they don't feel
Except one thing. Judges know that the accusations one party hurls against the other in a divorce is phony.
Yes.
Judges know that. You understand? Yes. But you're right. If somebody opens up the record,
right.
But you're going a little far. I will tell you one thing. It's final.
Yes.
You're unhappy.
Yes.
Stop making yourself even more unhappy.
Uh-huh. Well, I just wondered if there was any
Nothing can be done. Nothing can be done.
To have that stricken from the record.
No, nothing can be done now because you accepted it.
Uh-huh. Well, even if I took that situation to court to show that I fought against something like that.
Nope, because when your attorney got up and accepted it, he accepted it for you.
I see.
As your attorney, he had a right to do it with your permission. And since you didn't get up and say no, it's now part of the record.
Oh, I see. So there's no way I can pull it. I can form any charges against him or as neglect or anything.
No. Now you're learning something about our justice system. Sometimes there's no justice.
Yeah.
That's what you're learning.
I see.
Let me send you 2 T-shirts.
Oh, gee, I would appreciate that, Mr.
I'm glad to talk to you, but there's nothing you can do.
Oh, thank you very much.
Charlotte, give this gentleman 2 T-shirts. At least he'll have the consolation of that. Don't hang up.